Hello, and welcome to Silicon Valley Girls That Love to Chat Over Tea. I'm Gloria.
And I'm Rosetta. And thank you for joining us for our weekly chats.
Yes.
And today, let's see what tea we have, what we're drinking. And this is called, the brand is Yogi, and it's called Green Tea Blueberry Slim Fit.
Yes.
And what does it have in it? It has, let me see.
Let's see, green tea leaf, organic bilberry leaf, organic hibiscus flower. I always think that's interesting when it says hibiscus flower because I have a hibiscus plant in my yard and I smell it and I'm like, I wonder, how do they do this? Because they can't take the flower part. What are they putting?
I'm not sure. It could be the flower part.
Hey, never know.
Not quite sure.
Then we have natural orange flavor, natural blueberry flavor, green tea, leaf extract, ginseng. So it's going to pump us up a little bit. What is that? Eleuthero root?
I have not heard of that. Whatever root, it sounds healthy.
Extracts, and it's Asian ginseng and American ginseng. So I guess they put that together to create the formula.
And then there's all these other things that it has in there.
Yes.
Fruit extract, stevia leaf, natural licorice flavor. Oh, yeah. Licorice flavor.
So,
okay, let's try it.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Ooh, I can smell that blueberry taste.
I know.
The smell of it, it's quite...
Oh, we wish there was like smell vision because you see I'm sending the smell to you. It's amazing.
Oh, that's a good tea. I like that one.
Excellent. So today we thought that we would kick it off and talk a little bit about the weather. I don't know what the weather is like where you are. However, I don't know any place in the world that's having its normal standard weather. Here in California where we are, we're in Northern California and we're going through a heat wave. It's hot, triple digits hot.
It's hot for us.
It's hot.
At nighttime it's hot. We have to turn on the AC.
Yes.
Yesterday it was like 97 or something.
Normally in California, and I realize we're a little spoiled, even if it's 100 during the day, at night we get either fog or we get wind, and it comes across the bay. And as long as you have wind and the fog, it cools you right down. Like we can go from 100 to 70. And so it's comfortable, you can sleep. It's very difficult to sleep when it's 100 degrees. And just imagine being in a house that doesn't have air conditioning, because Northern California stays pretty cool. There's not a lot of air conditioning. Like San Francisco, you know, people come here and they're having a lovely time. Hotels don't have air conditioning. So when we have a heat wave, those poor people are cooking because it's hot. It's normally like 70, 65 to 70. So they don't need air conditioning. There's no need for
air conditioning, especially, and also in the cars, they don't have air conditioning as well. Like if you live in Pacifica or Daly City, you don't need it.
Well, now you do. So the big question of the moment is, are we all going to have to start thinking about air conditioning for our homes, air conditioning for cars, all kinds of things like that? And I was looking at, California. I think it was like in the 60s. It used to rain every day. So say it would be hot, and then it would rain, and it would cool the weather down. Every day it rained. Didn't rain long, just enough to cleanse the air. I wish some of that would come back. Some people would disagree, but I think that would be awesome.
I'm a summer girl. I like the sun, but it gets a bit too hot now.
Yeah. So just imagine, it's like, and also the heat, the hot part of the day used to be between 12 and 2. Now our heat peaks are 4 p.m.
Yeah.
So everything is shifting. And I was watching on Good Morning America, and in Glacier National Park in Montana, there were these falling rocks that fell on this car and severely impacted this family. And, in California, Nevada, on different roads, you will see signs that say falling rocks for next 5 miles or something.
Right, beware, or
yes,
you know, they usually say cannot enter or something.
Right,
yeah.
you know, and like if you're on the roads, sometimes you'll see little bitty pebbles just kind of coming down. So it's a very dangerous situation with the falling rocks. And then there was another incident where in northern Michigan, it looks like, if you can imagine, a mountain, and then the side of the mountain is just falling down.
It's just all crumbling down, and there's massive rocks coming down, right?
Yes, and they're falling in the water, and there were kayakers just kind of, you know, sitting, you know, just kind of chilling, and all of a sudden, all of this water, because the massiveness of the rocks hits the water sprays, and the people said that there was just mud. And
they were covered in dust.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it was just horrific. So, you know, that is really bad. And then this morning, Al Roker had been on an assignment, and he was talking about how we are experiencing the highest heat of any time. Not just the high, I mean, July was the highest month of all time, and we're still experiencing high heat all over the United States, and I'm sure all over the world. So, you know, I always tell people, don't mess with Mother Nature. And I think as citizens, I don't know what we can do. However, I hope that the people out there who are watching Mother Earth, the planet, they're looking at, well, what can we do as citizens to ensure that the planet is going to be okay? I know some people are like, I'm out of here. You know, I'm going to Mars. I'm going to the moon. And I'm, you know, good for you. And, you know, that you're blessed to have that kind of money to do that.
That's not really realistic.
Yeah, well, you know, especially at $250,000 to go up and have a flight.
Or $1 million or whatever it is, yeah.
You know, the regular human beings, and, you know, they're all of us, and we have children, and our children are going to one day have children. So how can we cool down the planet? What can we do?
Yeah, what can we do? What part can we play in helping the global warming that's happening? Because there was times, because as we said, we live in Northern California. We had many years ago, well, we've had it in the past, but it happened few years ago that we had a drought, and we did not have a fall or winter. It was hot the whole way through that season, where we should have had some rain. Yeah, some rain, some cold days. You know, we didn't have any of that.
And I remember there was also a time where it rained every day. And I don't mean a little bit of rain. I was working in Mountain View off of San Antonio and El Camino, near that area. And one day I was getting ready to go into the parking garage, and I saw water, and I started to back up, and the parking garage was flooded. I mean, that's the kind of rain I'm talking, where it is just rain. So I would be like, okay, I'll just take my lunch, because I'm not going to leave. Once I get to work, I'm going to stay.
Right. And remember the time, I think it was late 90s, 97 or something, there was El Nino.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes.
And that just destroyed everything for weeks.
Yeah. So, you know, if you know of something, you know, comment below and let us know. And we would love to share that information in an upcoming discussion, because, you know, we have to stop just letting things happen, because if we don't take action, nothing's going to change. So how can we positively change things? How can
everybody has a part to play in this. It's not just us two.
No.
It's everyone. We got to join hands and do this together.
Yes, together.
Yeah.
Teamwork. So we saw the cutest thing today, and we wanted to share that with you. So on the Today Show, they have this, there's like the Today Show, and then there's the third hour after, and then there's the Hoda and Jenna show. And Hoda and Jenna weren't there today, and they had people filling in for them. And what is her name?
Leah Remini.
Leah Remini, yes. I recognized her. The other lady I didn't.
We didn't know who the other lady was.
So the first thing they did to them is they're giving them real alcohol. You know, so one is having wine and the other one is having a dirty martini. So they get giggly, okay? So they're like, okay, it's awfully early, and then one of the stage hands comes in, and he refills the glass, and they're like laying on the table, so
like dropping down and laughing.
So I'm sure
and
by the end of the show, this was going to be really interesting. So anyway, there was a father who was at work, and a young man was coming to pick up his daughter, and he used his Ring doorbell to talk to him.
And if you don't know what the Ring doorbell is, it's an app that connects also to your cell phone so that when anyone rings your doorbell, you have access to it from your cell phone.
Absolutely.
So you can see who exactly is at your front door.
Absolutely. So the father says to him, "Who are you?" And he tells him his name. And then he says something to the effect, "I guess you're here to pick up my daughter." And he says, "Yes, sir." You know, he's being really polite. He goes, "It's nice to meet you, sir." And "Yes, sir." And so, he says to him, "Well, where are you taking my daughter?" And all of a sudden, you see the daughter's head come around the door.
She's looking right into the camera.
Looking into the camera like, "Dad, really?" And he says, "I'm going to take her to the movie." And he goes, "And what are you going to go see?" And he goes, Toy Story. And I told Rosetta, I said, "Oh yeah, you're going to say, I'm going to go take her to Demons from Hell." Of course you're going to say something cute.
Toy Story too.
Yes. I'm like, "Oh, really?" Okay. So then the daughter is like, "Oh," and then he says, "And what time will you be home?" And then he says, "Well, the movie starts." He says, he goes, "We'll be home before 11. He said, 10:30, right?
You said 10:30, right? So we'll expect you back at 10:30.
Yes. I mean, the dad is just stepping right over the top of him. And so the daughter starts to go away, and he goes, "Bye." He goes, "I love you." And she's just like, "Oh," she's just trying to get away from him. And then you hear the best part. The dad says, "Okay, I have to make sure that I can get the license plate of the car." Could you imagine?
He says, "I got to take a picture of the license plate."
Yes. Can you imagine? That young girl is mortified. The thing that I thought was really cute, though, was I thought it was really sweet what the dad was doing, even though I'm sure she felt like he was like all up in her cookies. I thought it was just very sweet the way the young man handled the dad.
He was very respectful.
He was very respectful.
Very respectful.
So, it was just so cute. And I told Rosetta, that's really wonderful.
That was funny. It was funny though, but it was nice to see that the dad,
yes,
technology nowadays
is actually helping.
Yeah.
Because when your children leave your door, you don't know, and you pray. My son is old enough that, if I started pouncing on him, he'd be like, "Oh, Mom, please." However, he travels a lot with his job, and he called me and he was like, "Oh, I'm going to Cuba." I said, "Cuba?" I said, "You mean Cuba?" And he's like, "Yes." And I go, because I'm like, okay, he's not a baby. You cannot say no. You can't go. You cannot say, "What's the name of the hotel? Well, where are you going to stay? How long are you going to be?" So it's just really nice to know that some forms of technology actually help.
It helps. The Ring doorbell helps, and the cell phones help.
Yes, yes, they do.
Yep.
So my girl over here is very excited because one of her favorite flavors is coming out early.
And that is, can you guess what it is? Anyone have a guess?
Guess.
Well, I'm going to tell you. It's pumpkin spice.
Can you believe it? Because I told her when she said that, I said, "Wait a minute. It's not Thanksgiving.
It's not even... What? It's not even September. We haven't even done Labor Day.
We haven't done Labor Day. We haven't done Halloween." I'm like, Don't they think they're a little early?
Yeah.
However, it must mean that people really like that
People
flavor.
love it. And it's just, what's the difference?
Yes.
Pumpkin spice, Christmas. There even Halloween. There's still Christmas stuff. I see Christmas stuff coming out. I see Halloween stuff coming out.
Yeah.
There's those Halloween, what are those? Pop-up haunted spirit stores.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Yes. The one in my neighborhood, I haven't seen the store for, how they, because what they do here in Northern California is they find closed buildings, and then for like 3 weeks or so, they put Halloween Superstore, and you can go in and you can buy anything you can imagine, and the minute Halloween is over, they clear out.
Yeah, so that's every year. And Yeah, so you see that popping up everywhere. I don't know about where you live, but that's what happens here. And so there's nothing wrong with pumpkin spice. People are going to like it or not like it. But
True.
I do like the flavors of pumpkin. But, you know, you can get like pumpkin pie all year round now.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen it everywhere.
I'm probably, you know, weird. I'm a Southern girl at heart, so I prefer sweet potato pie to pumpkin
You do.
pie.
I
make
sorry.
a mean sweet potato pie.
Okay, because I've never had sweet potato pie. Listen,
Really?
get this. No, I tried it one time.
Right.
And I made the mistake of buying it at a store.
Oh.
And it said Paula Dean's sweet potato pie. I did not like it. I'm like, ooh, this is horrible.
I have a niece and she loves pumpkin pie. And so like at Thanksgiving, we buy a pumpkin pie to serve and a pumpkin pie to leave at her house when everybody's gone.
I like pumpkin pie. I like sweet potato. I've never had it in a pie.
Well,
so
this
I wasn't
Thanksgiving,
sure.
when I make my sweet potato pies, I will make you one.
I'll have to try her one because what I got was not good. And I know from the stores, they're never that great unless everyone raves about how good it is. But my thing was, I wasn't sure if sweet potato pie was a dessert or a side to your main meal. No, so please clarify that.
Okay, sweet potato pie is a dessert because it's made to be eaten after the main meal. And some people warm the sweet potato pie and put ice cream, and the best ice cream to put on it is vanilla Haagen-Dazs because that's just cream and sugar, and the pie is sugar and sweet potatoes, so you got a lot of sugar going on there. So I wouldn't suggest you eat a hunk. Little bit is okay. A little bit is okay.
Moderation.
Absolutely. But it's you can also put whipped cream on it. You know, I have some friends that like sour cream because it kind of compensates the taste of the too sweet.
Yeah, some people do that. Like I've seen it in I actually do a really good cheesecake and I put sour cream on top of that.
Yes.
And I've seen donuts that have sour cream filling as well.
Yes.
And I didn't know that was the reason to offset the sweetness.
Yeah, because it just kind of calms it down a little bit, especially, you know, as we've both shared with you, you know, we have people in our lives that are sugar sensitive. And so we're always constantly trying to figure out ways of how to include desserts without throwing their blood sugars all off of whack and, you know, oh, I'm going to eat it and then I'll give myself an insulin shot. It's like, no, let's see if we can't try a natural sweetener. And I'm just blown away. I bought some raw organic pure cane sugar, and it's kind of brown, it's not white.
Yes, I've seen that.
And I have been people that want, you know, sugar in their tea, and we've tested it, and I've just been shocked that it hasn't raised their glycemic index like white sugar normally would do.
Well, white sugar has no nutrients in it. White sugar is the worst, like table sugar.
Yes.
That's the worst. That will spike your sugar big time.
Yeah. So, you know, she's got something to look forward to. And maybe we'll have some with our tea that day.
Yeah, but you have to be careful because a lot of the pumpkin spice out there, like even Starbucks, and they do that. It's just, I don't really drink that anymore because it's way too sweet.
Right.
And it's just the syrup.
Right.
So I'd rather just get things that are more natural. Maybe make my own pumpkin spice or something or whatever it is.
I love the smell because when you walk into and see, I haven't been in a Starbucks for a while. I can't imagine, you know, like going into Starbucks like this weekend or next week to get me a nice tea, a hot tea, and I smell pumpkin. I'm going to be like,
the
really?
smell is nice. The smell is nice, but it's just a lot of calories and sugar.
Yeah, and it's early. It's like, slow your roll.
Yeah.
I was also looking at Good Morning America, and Robin Roberts had a conversation with the parents of Cameron Boyce. He's a young man that he was only 27 in the prime of his life. He was doing The Descendants. He was doing television, movies.
I think he was in some Disney shows or something.
Yes, I don't want to say he's a Disney boy. However, he came through the Disney chain. So very, very sweet, kind, loving person. And he had an epileptic seizure and unfortunately passed away in his sleep. And his mom and dad were talking because this just happened in early July, so it's still fresh. And the father said, my God, it has only been a month since we lost our son. The thing is, there were so many unknowns. So apparently you have to have 2 bouts of an epileptic condition before they will classify you as being having epilepsy.
Epilepsy, yeah.
So there are things that, you know, people just don't know. So what the parents are going to do is, their son used to do a lot of work to support people. You know, he was trying to do things to help a lot of the people in LA, and they are going to keep everything that he was doing going forward, and they're going to add in health conditions to try and educate people and make people more aware.
On the epilepsy side, is that what it is?
Yeah. And yeah. I think that's just beautiful.
Yeah. So you were telling me that he hadn't had an epileptic seizure like for a year or so, right? Right. Which is why they didn't think that it was a big issue.
Yeah, because the mom said that if she had any idea that her child could have had a seizure, that would have killed him. See, he had had seizures before, but they thought it was just a condition he would have to learn how to live with. And they took him to a doctor, and they put all the electrodes on his head, and they wired him up, and they couldn't find anything. So the parents felt very comfortable letting him move out, have his own place. So they thought everything was really wonderful. And she said she never would have let him out of her sight. She goes, not so good for him, good for me, because they just didn't know that you could have an epileptic seizure and die. That just caught them so off guard, because no doctor, no one ever said to them, he can die for this, you know. We just want you to know he can die.
Yeah, my son had cerebral seizures when he was younger, and that's not that common for young kids, but it's when your temperature spikes drastically. Like one minute you're fine, the next minute your temperature rises to like 104 degrees. That's pretty scary. Then they have, it's called a cerebral seizure, where they have a seizure related to high temperatures. But that actually, the kids outgrow that at age 5, and my son had that, and it's scary.
Oh yeah.
It's
very scary. And it's not just scary because, you know, when they are having this experience, you have to cool them down fast. And what they always recommend is an ice cube, ice cold bath. And the thing with that is, people think you are horrible. You know, you're trying to hurt your child, and you're like, I have to get my baby's temperature down. So, you know, you're trying to get the temperature down, calm the baby down, all at the same time.
Yeah, we had an episode where we're in a restaurant and it happened, and we could tell, luckily we'd had experience with that, and we had to strip him naked in the restaurant. And we had to just calm him down, and we had to go home with him naked.
Right, because they're hot.
Yeah.
They're hot.
Yeah, but luckily he's 15 now. He's outgrown it. I mean, epileptic seizures are not fun.
No.
But luckily with the cerebral seizures, they outgrow them after age 5.
Well, thank God for that. So, you know, if these are part of your experience, if you have tools that you would like shared, please comment below, and we'll make sure that we share that information in upcoming talks.
Yep.
So the fun part, not really. We always want to give you a little bit of information about health or, you know, makeup, cosmetics, because that's where our field of expertise really lies. So you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Yeah, so today I'm going to talk about, have you been eating your leafy greens, the cruciferous family?
Yes.
And in particular, I want to talk about Brussels sprouts, because this is not a good subject with a lot of people, because a lot of people do not like Brussels sprouts. And Brussels sprouts is part of the leafy green vegetable family. And those are like Brussels sprouts, broccoli, bok choy, those dark leafy greens. And those are so healthy for you because they contain high antioxidants, phytonutrients that neutralize all the oxidative stress in your body. And Brussels sprouts has a good dose of vitamin K and C.
Okay.
So you don't have to just boil them, because I don't like them, but they're disgusting anyway. You can you can roast them and bake them. And I love it when I roast them. You cut them in half.
Yes.
And you put, I like to put garlic olive oil on it.
Yes.
And some people now are putting like different things like bacon, balsamic vinegar, pop it in the oven and roast it, and it tastes amazing.
Yeah. I mean, it's an acquired taste. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've never been like, you know, that kind of person. It's really funny because sometimes when you go to Asian restaurants and they have, you know, vegetable sautés and things like that, they always have it in there, and I'd be like, I don't like that. And so I would leave it on the plate. And then a friend of mine, you know, I had gone to her house, and she was like, we're having, you know, salad and Brussels sprouts and a protein. And I was like, Brussels sprouts? And she goes, shut up. Don't knock it till you try it. Mine are good. And I was like, okay. And she did, like you said, you know, the olive oil, and, you know, she seasoned them up and put garlic. They were amazing.
They're amazing. And the reason why a lot of people don't like Brussels sprouts is because it has that bitter taste towards the end.
Right.
That's why people don't like it. But if you can cover that with some kind of flavor,
yes,
it will take it away. Like chefs nowadays go real fancy, and they put like whatever, cheese, even bacon bits to cover it up.
Yeah.
So try it and tell us below, comment what you think about it. Give it another try, because it's so healthy for you. And boiled or roasted, either way, they're both healthy for you. But I like it roasted.
Excellent. And the makeup tip for the day, as I shared with you, it's been hot in Northern California. And most of us don't have air conditioning. And it's been really funny because I get up and I start applying my makeup, and then all of a sudden I feel, as I'm applying it, it's like it's going on much thicker than normal. And it's like, oh my God, my face is sweating.
Looks like a town because there's too much on there.
Yeah, it's way more than I normally apply. And so I would go and I would sit in front of a fan and let myself calm down a little bit. And then I'd go back and I'd try and apply it. And I was like, okay, this is just way too much work. And then I thought to myself, well, what would happen if I just sprayed a little elixir? So I took the ancient elixir, I sprayed it. My body calmed down. I put my makeup on. I sprayed it to set it, and I was good to go. So if you're out there and you're sweating and you're like, I can't get my makeup on, just even before you start, just spray your face with a little elixir. It will calm you down, and then you can apply your makeup as normal and then spray it to set it, and then you're good for the day.
And it makes you look good, because when you spray it, it makes you look like you're glowing.
Yes.
So, and I love that cool, refreshing feeling on the face.
Yes.
So you don't just have to do it in the morning. You can do it throughout the day.
Absolutely.
Spritz yourself up if you're like just not feeling your best.
Yes.
Spray, 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 and you look amazing.
Absolutely. And I love the fact of, there was a lady that came to see me this week, and she was like, so how many times do you reapply? And I'm like, no, I do this once a day, and I don't even think about makeup throughout the day. I set it and forget it. So, you know, lately though, it's been hot. So I just give myself a little spritz.
But the other thing, which, if you don't know this, if you use mineral makeup, it is not water soluble. So when you sweat, it does not come off with your sweat. It stays on all day. So that's a plus with mineral makeup as opposed to the conventional makeups people have out there. So if you're looking for makeup that stays on, mineral makeup, our girl Gloria Webb-Williams will hook you up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you all very much for your time. We had a great discussion. I love being with Rosetta. We find so many different things to talk about.
And if you have something that you'd like us to discuss or talk about, please put it down below in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that bell so that you can get notifications.
Absolutely.
And we thank you so much for tuning into our weekly chats.
Yes.
And don't forget to always remember to keep